Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sam here, and today I'm going to be answering one of the most asked questions I get here on YouTube, whether it's in my live streams or in the comment sections. You guys always seem to ask this question, and that question is my triple threat lineup good, or what type of lineups should I be running in triple threat online? So in today's video, I'm going to be making sure you guys are maximizing your chances of winning in triple threat online and having more chances to earn those free Galaxy Opals. So chances are you guys are probably watching this video at the time of these cards being out, the Kiki Vanderway, the Nate Archbold, or the Spencer Haywood, or there's another chance that you guys are watching this when there is a new triple threat online or offline event going on in the game. So these tips will apply to any event, not just the one going on right now. It'll apply to triple threat the rest of the year and triple threat offline the rest of the year. Now, as most people know, there are two game modes. There's triple threat online and there's triple threat offline. 99% of people know that, but maybe there's someone new watching this. So the first tips I'm going to be showing you guys are going to be for the triple threat offline. There's not going to be too many because it is offline. There's nothing, you're not playing an actual person, you're playing the CPU. And the first tip, and pretty much the only tip I have for you guys, is to run a Galaxy Opal you can run a Galaxy Opal or a really good card and then surround them with a really bad card like bronzes or silvers. I think the lowest you can get matched up with triple threat offline, like CPU cards, are I believe golds. So I mean, you could replace these with golds, but I'm just gonna do bronze because I'm gonna be playing through one player, and you can just use Hakeem. I do recommend a big man or like a forward, just so you could post up every time, or you could you could shoot threes too from range extender. You could definitely do that, but for my approach, I usually would just use the big guy, but threes are worth more than two, so that's really up to you. But pretty much the only tip I have for you guys is to use one really good player and surround them with bronze players. You also could, if you don't want to, get matched with an opposing Galaxy Opal or high tier card, because the CPU, for those who don't know, they try to match you up with similar cards. So with us using a Galaxy Opal and two bronzes, it's going to match us with two, pretty bad cards and then one really good card. So one way of avoiding that is to use an Evo card, which this might be glitched. It might not, or not glitched anymore, but like it might be patched. I've heard conflicting, some people say, oh, it's fixed. If you use an Evo card, it actually, you actually get matched up with the right tier. But from my experience, I'm going to go over to Kareem here because he's the highest tier highest tier Evo card I have. Where is he here? Here we go. You can see Kareem, for those who might not know, he starts at a Sapphire, I believe. So in the past, again, I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure, though, on offline, it still works. In the past, if I use Kareem at Pink Diamond, the game still registers him as a Sapphire since that's the first evolution he starts at. So if I started with this lineup, I'd be matched with two bronzes and a Sapphire. Yeah, I'm using a Pink Diamond Kareem. So that is pretty much the only tip I have for triple threat offline. Use one really good card, surround them with bronzes, or use an Evo card and surround them with bronzes, and then it's just easy wins all day. You can just post up or shoot threes all day. Now, in regards to the awards on triple threat offline, most people know about the vault, but for those who might not know, just quickly, the vault is basically after you win a triple threat offline game. We're still talking about offline. You can open this vault. It's like a bank vault, and it's pretty much, you can't see anything. You just hit X, and it's either green and it opens, and you get one of the prizes you can see on the screen, or it's red and you don't get anything at all and you just have to play another game. So I thought I could offer some insight here just from, as you can see, I've played 1,242 games of this. I did go for that Galaxy Opal Dominique Wilkins, and that was earlier in the year, in about October, I want to say, maybe late September. So, they could have changed the odds because now it's almost May, but from my experience, guys, I actually kept track of how often I opened the vault, and from my experience, I opened the vault every 1 out of 4 to 5 games. So all the time I get people saying, yo, Sam, the vault never opens. Hey, Sam, I just opened the vault 7 times in a row. As you can see, it's pretty random. So with you guys knowing that it opens every 1 to 4 games, don't be surprised if you play, 5 games in a row, 7 games in a row, and it doesn't open. But then at the same time, don't be surprised if you play 3, 4, 5 games in a row and it opens every time. It's just really random, guys. There's nothing you can really do. It's just all RNG. It's just random. I'm sure there's just a random number generator, and there's nothing you can do to, increase your odds of opening the vault. It's just all luck. And then I'm sure each of the rewards you see on screen, I know people complain also that every time they do open the vault, you just get a token. I'm sure that the probability is definitely weighted differently for each of the items. So I'm sure it's pretty rare to get the Nate Archbold and Spencer Haywood. So don't be surprised and don't get frustrated if you don't open the vault, every time. But then again, don't be surprised if you open it up to 3 times in a row. So that's just from my experience. let me know in the comments below, guys, if you have a trick or method that I'm not aware about. But all right, now switching over to the triple threat online aspect of the game, which most people are interested in. I have a lot of good tips for this, guys. There's a lot of things you can do to increase your chances of winning, or at least having the odds in your favor, at least of the things you can control, because there's some things you just can't control in this game, especially when it comes to the matchmaking. That's pretty much what I'm talking about. If you guys have played any triple threat online, you know that the matchmaking is just pretty horrendous and terrible. So, you know, you could be using a God squad and you get matched up with a bronze team. You could be using a bronze team and you get matched up with a God squad. So the lineup advice, I really can't help you with the matchmaking. That's what I meant to say, not the lineup advice. I do have lineup advice for you, but when it comes to the matchmaking, there's really nothing you can do about it. You could try the Evo method, but again, the matchmaking is sometimes so random, so that's not even a guarantee. But anyway, let's get right into the cards I recommend for triple threat online, and I will switch over to my screen here, and I do have the locker code from today up on the screen, and that's because there's 2 players in this locker code that I do recommend a lot of you guys use. And the cards that I'm going to be recommending, guys, are actually all cards that you can find under, I want to say like 35k, but maybe I'm wrong because the auction house is glitching right now, of course, while I'm making this video. But all these cards that I'm going to recommend are really cheap, and I'm not saying you have to use these. If you have more MT, go out and buy crazy nice cards, go for it. But I'm trying to aim this video at people, you know, who are just picking up the game, who maybe also don't have a lot of MT, or just people who don't have a lot of MT. So there's a locker code on the screen, and with that being out, the Lamar Odom and Danny Green and all these cards are going to be really cheap. So switching over to the lineups I recommend, guys, if you can see here, what I did here was the point guards on the left, on the right you have shooting guards, and then I have another lineup here. I'm sure I could have organized this different, but what I have is guards on the first lineup screen, and then here I have more of the forwards and your centers. So that's what I like to do. We don't have power forwards here. If there are power forwards, they're mixed in with the centers, but as you can see, I have two pages, and what we're going to start with first is the point guards, and I'm going to recommend you guys get that diamond Russell Westbrook, the center power forward one. I know it's super weird, he can run center and power forward, but in triple threat there is no position locks. It just goes by height, so your shortest player is going to be the point guard. So I highly recommend you get this diamond Westbrook. I've played this card so much, you probably can see it. You probably see me playing this card in the background footage on the screen early in the video maybe, but this card crazy nice, like 10k, even less. So I would say I'd really emphasize that card. Out of all the cards I'm going to talk about today, get that Russell Westbrook diamond. If you don't want to use that card though, there's some other point guards I have for you here. Isaac Bonga, not a bad card at all. I think he is more than the Westbrook, but he's like 6'8", 6'9". He has range extender, and that's the main thing. I got to mention this too. The badges, that is how you can increase your chances of winning games, guys. It's all about badges and making sure everyone can shoot the ball. So just some badges that I recommend all these players to have would be clamps, range extender, dimer, and intimidator. And I made sure, guys, all these cards have those badges, so I'm a man of my word. Anyway, here we go. Point guards, Isaac Bonga. You can see Dennis Smith Jr. I threw him on here because he has range extender. He has really good dunks. Same with Derrick Rose, Lonzo Ball. All these guys can dunk. All these guys have range extender. All of them have clamps. Everyone, or I want my guards to be able to handle the ball. I want one ball handler on the floor, and I want them to play defense and have range extender. So moving on to the guards, what I also want is a shooter on the team. I want a guard, I want a shooter, and I want a big man. And for the shooters, I recommend Michael Redd, Lonnie Walker, Lance Stevenson, Craig Elo, Walter Davis, and Cam Reddish. Now, these two are rewards, so you are going to have to go grind out like 5 games and just, you know, get 10 Hawks players, get Cam, get 10 Suns players, get Walter. But if you don't want to do that, go get one of these guys. Michael Redd, crazy nice card. Lonnie Walker, very underrated card. Lance Stevenson, super cheap and has Hall of Fame clamps and range extenders. Craig Elo, I threw him in there because he's newer and he just has a lot of shooting badges and good defense. And now moving over to the forwards and the big guys. If you want to get like a taller player, maybe you don't want a guard, I have these guys here who can shoot and they're taller. Lamar Odom, he is an older card, but he's still really good and really cheap, especially because of the locker code that came out today. That's why I mentioned that. And he has range extender. Like the only thing he doesn't have is like post lockdown, but even then that's fine. Nicholas Batum, super cheap card, has a lot of good Hall of Fame badges. He's 6'9", I believe, 6'8", 6'9". Crazy nice card. Andrew Wiggins can dunk the ball, has an okay jump shot. Not the best dribble moves, but perfect for triple threat online where there's a lot of space on the court. Brent Berry, same thing. Those two very similar cards. Danny Manning is like a better Lamar Odom low key, but if some people want Lamar Odom, it's all about animations really. So one of these guys, I think Lamar does have better dribble moves, but you could go with Danny Manning as well. And for the last position, guys, again, like I said, I want to have a guard who can handle the ball and play good defense and pass the ball really well. I want a spot up shooter, whether it's a shooting guard or a big forward, and then I want a big guy. And all these big guys here, except for Giannis, have range extenders. So Thurl Bailey, if you go play 5 of the historic Jazz games, you can get Thurl Bailey. He's a 6'11" power forward, small forward, just absolutely crazy good card. Basically Giannis, but with range extender. Mo Bamba, super cheap amethyst, has range extender. You know Mo Bamba, he's gonna be blocking shots, gonna be really good on defense. Thon Maker, he doesn't have as good a defense. He doesn't have clamps, but this card is just a demigod. You could even run him at the 2, if you want. He's that good. Not Thon Maker. Marvin Bagley, again, it's kind of a mix between Thon Maker and Mo Bamba in my opinion. Not a bad card at all. Giannis, I threw this card in here just because it's Giannis and he actually can run center just in triple threat just because of how good his defense is. He doesn't have range extender, but if you're not, too concerned about having range extender on your big guy, he definitely can do the trick for you. And then Jack Sigma, another reward card. You need to play 5 games against the Historic Thunder to get this card. Very, very good card. 6'11", I believe. Center with an amazing release, and I think his lowest stats like I want to say 80. So he can pretty much do everything. So those are the cards I recommend for you guys. They are really cheap. They all are really cheap. And like I'm not saying you have to use these budget cards, because obviously if you have more MT, go out and buy better players. But for those who are on a budget or new to the game, I recommend all of these cards, and I guarantee you will increase your chances of winning Triple Threat Online. So pretty much to sum up, guys, the tips I have for Triple Threat Online is you can't control the matchmaking. So if you can't control that, you can at least control the players you're going to use. And I recommend for badges that all your players have clamps. That's 100%. You have to have that. I recommend range extender as well, just so you can shoot it from anywhere in the court. Maybe not on your big guy, but even on your big guy, it's nice so people can't off-ball you. Make sure everyone can shoot that too. Dimer is definitely nice as well. Dimer is a little bit harder to find on all cards, but Dimer basically makes it so every single pass from your teammate to teammate gets a boost on catch and shoot shots, and that definitely helps when greening. And then Intimidator, that's another big badge that I recommend you guys try to find on all the players. I know all the players I recommended had these badges, but not everyone's going to follow this guide. So when you're going out and buying other cards, look for those badges. But alright guys, that is going to do it for today's video on how to win more games on Triple Threat Online and offline. If you learned anything new or enjoyed the video, please hit the like button below and feel free to leave a comment, especially if there's anything you think I forgot or any type of tip you think could help others, because people do read the comments, so maybe you can help out some other people by leaving a comment below. And yeah, I'm curious too, maybe I'm forgetting some. But also, if you're new though, consider subscribing. We do make these type of videos every single week, and we also do a lot of sniping tips, and we live stream every day, so feel free to sub up for that. And until next time guys, take it easy, peace out.